Welcome to King Sejong Station, ladies and gentlemen. This is the venue of map number 1 for the last best of 3 of the evening in Group D. Spawning in the top left position, representing Team My Insanity. This guy, well, he switches his names literally like the seasons because I've called him about 3 different things in the last 3 months, but as it currently stands, he is MYI's Winter. His opponent, representing Carnage Esports, has one more shot to make it into the final 8. Can he do it? It is Eiki. And of course, Eiki making a name for himself in team leagues. And I believe it was the Nations Cup, actually, where he originally made his, a really big name for himself. And now we need to see if he can make the quarterfinals of the NorCraft Cup. It's going to be pretty close. Got a Norway versus Sweden here. And we have a drone scouting very early on here for Winter, wanting to make sure that no sneaky shenanigans are happening. Gives the probe a high five on the way past. We'll see the forge go down. Hatch block, hatch block, hatch block. I suspect it's not going to happen. But you never know. You absolutely never know. Because, you know, if you want to, logically, if you want to have your unit spawn closer to your opponent, what better way to do it than to have a hatch in their face? Hatchery here. Yeah! Not going to happen, guys. We don't have cats here. We don't have some amazing shenanigans. But we have got the Nexus after the Forge coming down from our Protoss player, Eiki. Chosen red instead of orange this time, so a little bit less Sun Goku on the probes there, it's got to be said. And... oh wow, Eiki actually waiting. Oh, he's thinking about the cannon rush. He's going up to 600 minerals right now. He's saying to his opponent, are you actually going to let me cannon rush you? And the answer is yes. There goes the first cannon. There goes the second cannon. And wow, a third and fourth photon cannon going down. He is very serious about this rush. This needs to get cancelled. This needs to get cancelled. It doesn't get cancelled. That's a little bit careless here coming out of our Protoss player. He's still only got the one pylon actually powering everything. So I would recommend a second pylon here, because that's the one building that really should be going down. But it looks like this is going to work, and he is going to resort to going back home, putting the Nexus down. He tried, and there are 6 lings here moving out across the map with him to say, well, if you tried, I'm going to hopefully try harder. He is completing the wall off now. Will this probe get home? Well, the pylon's there, and now it's not. Failed cannon rush, maybe making the decision slightly late was Eiki. And there is the cannon just in time to say absolutely no way. And it looks like one of those Zerglings is going to go down. Just the one. And the game is going to normalize. Now this Nexus, guys, there's no massive deal here. The game isn't over or anything. But this Nexus, well, it's quite a lot later because of the minerals required. The minerals invested in this cannon rush and the time means that this Nexus is just going down a lot later than usual. It doesn't mean Eiki's lost by any stretch of the imagination, but it does mean he is playing from behind right now. And these back rocks are slowly going to get whittled down. Of course, not in time to do any serious damage. We'll have mothership cores up and stuff by then anyway. These 2,000 hit point debris is going to take an awful long time for these Zerglings to actually whittle away at. They're just nibbling at the edges. Like they're hungry, and it's a big hunk of meat. I could use a kebab. I'm pretty hungry. This is why I shouldn't talk about food during broadcast, guys. Alright, we got the Stargate going down for Eiki now. And, well, we'll see what it ends up being. I mean, he has actually favored the Phoenix play we've seen earlier today, and he's actually been deadly effective with sort of 4 or 5 Phoenixes out on the map early. He's done a great job in previous series. Is he going to do the same thing here? And is it going to be as effective later on? That's really my concern. He's basically going to have 2 Phoenix productions worth of delay, if you like, just because it takes a while for that to come out. And, well, wait. Cybernetics core is out. Where is... We don't have a mothership core, though. So these Lings, they could actually waltz straight in here. Oh, man. We've got a Zealot and a Stalker. There is no mothership core. We're rushing out the tech. We're rushing to those Phoenixes. And you know what you don't want to deal with Zerglings? Phoenixes. I mean, it just takes them forever to kill everything. You don't want to be lifting such a low-cost unit. So, at the moment, Eiki, I have to say, he's in a little bit of an uncomfortable position. We got the 3 bases up and comfortably mining for winter right now. He's just going along his merry way. And, I mean, Eiki's not in any sort of imminent danger, but he is in a position where he doesn't really want to move out. He doesn't have that mothership core photon overcharge. Lings can sort of pop in at any moment to this natural expansion. That is definitely not something that he wants right now. So he has to be rather careful and very, very wary of that for sure. So, Overlords getting picked off left, right, and center right now. Where are the other Overlords at the moment? It looks like Winter only has these 2. Ooh, is that... No, that's a Zergling. So, not going to have too many Overlords killed off here. Unfortunately, he can run, but he definitely can't hide. And, that Overlord is going to go down. That should be it for about now, until he gets to more Phoenixes, though. So, let's see what he goes and does next. 3 more gateways on the way, and the robotics facility... Sorry, robotics bay even, coming down now for Eiki. So he's just going to be transitioning into that Colossi. Going with the same build that we've seen him do in previous games. Obviously, this game started as a cannon rush, but his goal is to go with the same thing. Winter, on the other hand... He's got the Roach Warren nearly done. The +1's incoming as well. And he's just still continuing to look very, very comfortable. Yes, these Phoenixes are going to be annoying, but Winter might even consider a macro hatch or a 4th base at this rate. I mean, he basically isn't being disturbed at all. Glee of Reconstitution has started as well. Here come the Phoenixes to try and do as much damage as they can inside the main base. Well, not a catastrophic amount yet, just the 1 worker killed. So absolutely nothing critical so far. But don't forget, because of the way this game started, he needs to get every single worker kill he can right now. He wants to try and squeeze out as much damage as possible to say that the players are at an even place. And that's pretty tough to do. But we'll see if he can manage to do it. A lot of Lings now, a lot of Speedlings coming out from Winter. Just about evades the vision, by the way, of these Phoenixes. So we'll see what he's able to come up with from those. And I think he's actually just going to deny the 3rd base by the looks of things. The Mothership Core really ain't going to do much. He's saying, nope, I'm going to delay you as much as I can in every way possible, and there's not a lot you can do right now. This 3rd base has to be cancelled. He came out with the army and then went, nope, I definitely can't handle that. And off go the Lings. An excellent little run by there from Winter. Good little bit of... oh, are we going to see a transfuse on this queen? No, there's no other queen with transfuse actually in the near vicinity. But this massive Zealot warping is actually going to cause a lot of problems. Is this what Eiki needs to try and get himself back into this game? The Lings have come back. Everything on the ground just get mopped up. But how many queens currently exist for our Zerg player? Only 2. So the 4th base is going down. There are only 2 queens. A lot of Zerglings are engaging the Zealots right now. There aren't actually many workers going down, so don't worry about that. It's 1 worker killed on either side right now, so not the highest stakes game of poker as far as destroying economies are concerned. And we're going straight into Enduring Locust. So we're going to see Swarmhost, not for the first time today, but the last time we saw Swarmhost, guys, if you remember, these Phoenixes absolutely won the day. And they said, oh, really? You've got Swarmhost? Well, I'm going to push out with this army, eat a wave of Locusts and win. Now the question is, after that failed cannon rush at the beginning of the game, will Eiki's army be big enough that he can do the same thing and eat that first wave of Locusts? I'm not so sure. And these Lings, they're thinking about trying to come in behind on the Colossi, deciding against it at the end of the day. But there was a moment there where I felt for Eiki and I thought, ooh, this could actually be troublesome. The Warp Prism out in the middle of the map is not going to do anything. The Lings are gathering round it. And a couple more queens actually going to go down here. He can pick off the second one as well. Will successfully do so. But the first 6 swarm hosts are on the way. Now this time around we are not in a situation where Eiki has an army, to be honest, large enough to absolutely destroy everything on the ground. These are great against the Lings. I mean, 3 Colossi cannot be, can't be ignored. But with this number of Lings and Roaches to back it up, I think Winter could sack them all to drive it back and buy himself enough time to get kind of like the 12 to 20 sort of Swarm Host magic number. So that's really what we're looking at here. Phoenix is just chilling out in the middle of the map now. Eiki is moving out. He sees the first wave of Locusts. He is eating it. That's fine. But he's nowhere close to being on top of them this time around. I can guarantee you that. Number of observers out on the map as well. Currently 0. So he's got no way of actually seeing these right now. He's pressing forward. It's going to be a little difficult. He's trying anyway. Guardian Shield's going up. Excellent force fields, actually. And even more Queens have gone down now. There must have been double digits now for the number of Queens going down this game, and it's only the 15-minute mark, so doing a very good initial job. The number of Roaches behind this, though, is substantial. He's moving into the Swarmers. Is he going to be able to do it again, despite this game starting with a failed cannon rush? He's trying to move in. Good force fields on top of the Swarm Host, but the Locusts do find a way in, and a couple of units are being killed off. Now, the Colossi are still there. This attack isn't over yet. The Mothership Core doesn't have enough energy for a Time Warp. It doesn't at this time. Number of Swarm Hosts out on the map right now, only 6. He hasn't made any more since. Only 1 more coming in, and he's only making Roaches to back this up. I think Eiki might be able to do this. Excellent pickups by the Phoenixes. And now he's almost on top of the Swarm Host. Is there an Observer with this army? The Observer has now popped in with this army. So he hasn't eaten the first wave of Locusts and then killed him. He's eaten about 12 waves of Locusts, but he's going to be able to come in anyway. 6 Swarm Hosts, 5, 4, 3... 2, and all of a sudden this base is forfeit as well. Did Winter get enough Swarm Hosts quickly enough? After the first 6, he paused his production for an awful long time to focus on Roaches. Should he have sacrificed his 4th base and maybe gone into sort of 10-15 Swarm Hosts instead? That 6 wasn't a high enough number for him to make that count. And at the moment, I have to say, it looks like Eiki's going to be able to take game number 1. He's at 148 supply versus 131 right now. Yes, there are more Swarm Hosts being produced, but you know what? You lost your first 6, mate. Another 5 at this point isn't going to be doing that much more damage. It's a 3-base Protoss versus a 3-base Zerg. And, well, proponents of the Swarm everywhere. Shedding a little tear right now as we see the Protoss take his 4th base. And it's never a good sign when a Protoss is on more bases than you, and you're that Zerg player. We will finally get back up to double-digit Swarm Hosts, but I still think we might have had to sack something earlier to get to this point a lot sooner. Doing this after you've lost a base and a ridiculous number of Roaches is not the way to go. We're already at 11,200 minerals lost here for the game. That's a lot of resources lost for the Zerg player. We're not even at the 20-minute mark, guys, and we're moving in for round number 2. The Locust actually doing a lot of damage to the Stalkers on the front line. Needs to be careful. Winter's going to be moving in with everything he's got. He can see the Queens here as well. The Phoenixes can actually do a good job picking up the Queens. They're not doing anything at the moment. We need to see a bit of micro here coming out from Eiki. He really needs to do a bit more. He does, because otherwise the Locusts are just going to come in and pick everything apart. There we go. Picking up 1 Queen, killing the Overlord, but I really want to see the Observer here and possibly picking up some Swarm Hosts. They're now moving. 4 of them get picked up, 5 of them get picked up, and this could be the end. GG, and Carnage Esports Eiki, ladies and gentlemen, takes game number 1 over my Insanity's Winter.